You survived something hard, maybe a long time ago. So why does it still feel like it's with you every single day? If trauma from your past is still showing up in your relationships, your body, or the way you see yourself, you are not broken and you are not stuck. You just need someone to explain what's actually going on. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Hello friends, and welcome to A Gentle Path with Marie Darling, a place where we slow down, make sense of the hard stuff, and walk gently toward healing. I'm so glad you're here today. In this episode, we're going to explore why trauma still affects you years later, and by the end, I hope you'll have a little more understanding of yourself than when we started. So let's walk together. If you've ever felt like you should be over something by now but you're not, there is a really good reason for that. Maybe it was something that happened years ago, decades even, and yet there are days when it feels like it's still right there, sitting quietly in the background, showing up in ways you don't always expect. Maybe it's a smell that stops you in your tracks, a tone of voice that makes your whole body tense up, a situation that on the surface seems completely fine, but something inside you just reacts. And afterwards you think, why did I do that? Why did I feel that? I should be over this by now. I want to say something really clearly before we go any further. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not too sensitive. And you are definitely not imagining it. What you are is a human being who experienced something hard, and whose brain and body did exactly what they were supposed to do to keep you safe. What you're experiencing makes complete sense when you understand what trauma actually does to the brain and body, and that's exactly what we're going to look at today. Here's the thing about trauma. It's not just a memory. It's not something that only lives in your thoughts. Trauma lives in your nervous system. When something overwhelming happens, and we don't have the resources to fully process it at the time, whether that's because we were too young or too alone, or the situation was just too much, our brain and body hold on to it. They store it like an unfinished file that never quite got closed. And that file, it doesn't just sit there quietly, it stays active, ready to open again the moment something triggers it. So what does that actually look like in day-to-day life? It can look like anxiety that seems to come out of nowhere. It can look like shutting down completely when things get hard. It can look like feeling on edge, hypervigilant, always waiting for something to go wrong. It can look like difficulty trusting people, even people who have never hurt you. It can look like anger that surprises even you, or numbness, or exhaustion that no amount of sleep seems to fix. It can look like avoiding certain places, certain conversations, certain people, without always being able to explain. Does any of that sound familiar? Because if it does, I want you to know that makes complete sense. Let me explain what's happening in your body when this occurs. Your nervous system has one primary job: to keep you alive. And it is very, very good at that job. When you experience something traumatic, your nervous system files it away as a threat. And from that point on, it is constantly scanning your environment for anything that resembles that threat. Years later, when something happens that reminds your nervous system of that original experience, even something small, even something that seems completely unrelated, your body responds as if it's happening all over again. Your heart rate goes up, your muscles tense, you might freeze, or fight, or want to run. That's not you being dramatic, that's not you being difficult, that's your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's trying to protect you. The problem is it hasn't yet learnt that the danger is gone. And here is where the hope lives. Because the nervous system that learned to protect you can also learn that you're safe now. That is what healing is. It's not about forgetting what happened. It's not about pretending it didn't matter. It's about gently, carefully, helping your nervous system update its information, giving it new experiences, teaching it over time that the old rules no longer apply. And here's something I find really beautiful about this. The moment you stop fighting your reactions and start getting curious about them instead, that is the beginning of healing. When you can say, oh, there's my nervous system trying to protect me again, instead of, what is wrong with me? Everything starts to shift. You move from self-criticism to self-compassion. And that is a powerful, powerful place to be. So if trauma is still showing up in your life, whether that's anxiety, or shutting down, or feeling on edge for no reason, I want you to know that there is a path forward, a gentle one, and you don't have to walk it alone. In our next episode, we're going to look at the different ways trauma can show up, because it doesn't always look the way people expect. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And if today's episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. I'll be right here, walking alongside you.